A lot of people are really terrified when it comes to picking a paint colour, and as a result I think we have a lot of boring and beige schemes, if I'm honest. But seriously, choosing a new hue for your walls is one of the most transformational things you can do in your home, and not only that, it's also one of the cheapest. So I've got some really good tips on how to pick the perfect paint colour. First of all, you want to choose what colour you want to go for, and there are so many different paint brands out there, it can get really mind-boggling. You've got your kind of designer paint brands, and what's great about these guys is they do pick really lovely colours. I mean, if you go for any of these designer paint brands, you just know that the colours are really nice, really right for this northern light as well. These kind of British paint companies know how to pick paint for the UK, but they come with a premium price tag as well. Otherwise, you can go to places like Dulux and Crown, who can literally mix you any colour, which is fantastic. So you have complete creative freedom, and also they're a little bit cheaper too, but again, totally mind-boggling. So really what you want to start with, once you've picked a colour from either a magazine or book, or you've seen some inspiration, is to get yourself a tester pot. It's just a few quid, you can buy more than one, but do not go putting a mean little square on your wall next to another colour, next to another colour, and before you know it, you've got like a whole patchwork mosaic of paint swatches on your wall, and you still don't know which one to go for. Instead, get a piece of lining paper, or even the back of an old roll of wallpaper, and it can be quite irritating because they're so curly, so I'm going to pin mine down to the table with a bit of masking tape on all four corners. Now I can tell you, everybody I share this tip with, it completely blows their mind. It's a serious game changer, and I'll show you why in a minute. So, got your lining paper all sort of pinned out. Then, with a brush or a roller, you want to get all the paint out of that tester pot tin and slather it all over your paper. Now you don't want to stretch the paint too thin, because you want to have a really good representation of the colour. So either two sort of thin coats or just one big thick coat, and get a really nice large patch of colour. So none of these like little tiny itty bitty squares. You end up with a really nice big surface. And then you've got to wait for it to dry. Cue lift music. Nobody really likes to watch paint dry, so this is a bit of a treat. It's totally fine to do this with a swatch. Don't really recommend it for the walls though. So that's it. We now have our oversized paint swatch ready to get onto the wall. So I'm just going to lift it off the table and onto the wall. And what's great about this low tack tape is it won't damage what's already on the wall. But now you've got a really large area of colour, which gives you a much better idea of what that will look like when it's everywhere. And better still, you can take that down, you can move it around the room, see what it looks like in different lights. And even better, when you do come to finally decorate, you're not having to put loads of layers of paint to block out all the little tiny bits of swatches that you've dotted everywhere. Now I'm totally loving this deep pink colour. Now if you couldn't live with that colour, find one you could live with, buy a tester pot, make a giant swatch and just go for it.